Okay, welcome everybody to our soul healing community conversation number 2. Jax is here with me, and we are going to be sharing some exciting information about the soul healing adventures tonight. Jax, you want to say hi?
Hello, everybody. It's really awesome to see you again. Beryl, welcome. Candace, welcome. Whoever else is joining us. It's so good to be here. And I just feel so really, I'm tingling because I'm so excited about what's about to happen.
Yeah.
Mm.
So, Jax, I think the way that we're going to structure this is we're going to share with you a lot of information about the soul healing portion of the program, as well as some logisticals. So, Jax, do you want to talk us through exactly who's our target market, who would benefit from attending the soul healing adventure?
Yeah, Caro, thank you for that. So, Um, it's sort of we're taking some time to really feel into who are the people who will benefit and get value from what we've put together. And we're starting to see a couple of different target markets or groups of people. The first, obviously, is people who are heart-centered, who are spiritually awake and connected and open to doing this kind of work. That's sort of obviously a given that it's a soul healing adventure. So there's the openness. The second is that it is people who have sort of dedicated a large portion of their lives to looking after other people, and putting other people first, and invested a lot of energy and time and resources in other. And part of what we're doing as the Soul Healing Adventure is giving you permission to actually put yourself first and at the front and center for the first time in a very long time, after having served many other people beautifully and with so much heart and so much dedication and energy and commitment. So it's people who really need to turn their focus towards themselves and bring more balance into their lives. So it could be someone who's caregiving, like taking care of an older parent, or has been taking care of children, and their children have now left home and they're at a crossroads because it's that sort of empty nest kind of situation. And it's like now your whole life is ahead of you, and there's a need to redefine who it is that you actually are, who you want to be, what value you have, what gifts you have, and how you want to offer them to the world, or how you want to fill up the next phase of your life to make it purposeful and meaningful. Um, it could be somebody who's going through a healing crisis, and I'm coming across more and more people who are actually struggling with some health challenges. The one that's coming up quite a bit is people who have been had cancer, and they've been through treatments, and they're now needing to really articulate with the time that I've got left in my life. How do I really live it and feel alive and vital and joyful and make it meaningful to make this phase of my life count, as well as what's the healing that needs to happen in their systems to support that shift. It can be somebody who's had a corporate career, professional, who's on the border of retirement and has got big dreams and big goals and things they still want to do in the world, and really accessing the support and the resources and the clarity of what that legacy is going to look like, and how they're actually going to build the stepping stone and the bridges to actually live out that legacy and have the impact that they want to have. Yeah, or anybody just wanting to really step into who they are at the highest level
Mm.
and into their highest purpose. Someone who knows that they have got light to shine in the world, but haven't quite managed to make that transition to actually shine that light. And so it's helping build that bridge to actually shine your light in the world. So it's about releasing, reconnecting, remembering who you are, and then rising.
Awesome. That is so exciting. And that really captures it in very clearly. So what Jax and I want to do today, tonight, is firstly, this kind of adventure is quite a complex um, task to put together. And we've had quite a few questions. So we're trying to answer as many questions as possible from, so that we can put your mind at ease. We also want to introduce and just tell you a little bit about ourselves and the two of us and how we fit together and who's going to look after what components. So the first things we're going to talk about is a little bit of the excitement, and I'm going to be looking after the logistical component. And with my experience, I've got 30 years experience in conferencing and events management and project management for international and for local conferences and events. And that's included putting tours, etc., together. Why am I telling you this? I think it's very important to realize that whoever's looking after you has the experience and the knowledge to be able to put something together like this. From a financial perspective, working out the finances, making sure that your money that you put into this is looked after properly and goes where it needs to go so that you get value out of the experience. From a health and safety perspective, a risk management perspective, my whole life, I've been working with moving people around and looking after people at events and making sure that we have everything in place to ensure a person's safety. So that is a very critical component of this. The mere logistics of making sure that people get to Bali, and then what happens from there, securing suppliers, making sure that we're working with people who have the qualifications. We don't want to pay for transport and then you get there and you're stranded at the airport and they don't pitch up. What we're going to do is we're going to mitigate all of that, make sure that you're looked after. So this is why I'm sharing with you that I've got over 30 years experience in this. I have been appointed as one of the top 40 women in the meetings, incentive, conference, and event space in 2017. So this is what I know how to do very intimately. On the flip side, I've studied to become a coach, a life coach, a transformation coach. That's my main focus, is to help people to manage change in their life, and with a particular focus on NLP, neuro-linguistic programming. And my passion is timeline therapy, which helps with healing traumas, etc. So putting the two components, which I'm very passionate and very experienced about, means that we can offer you an experience with a level of comfort, and you know that you're in safe hands. So let's talk a little bit about the logistics. Okay, Bali is a place of safety and renewal, and Soul Healing's Adventures is a place of safety and renewal. Correct, Jax?
Absolutely. So I think, why did we choose Bali? Let me just talk about that. And it's because it's perfectly geared to support the kind of adventure that we are, the healing adventure that we are designing and creating. The natural beauty is unparalleled. The elements, and having looked at where we're going to be going in our activities and how that actually supports the healing journey. Bali is also starting to become like a healing hub or a spiritual hub. And so I think the energy in Bali is actually a little bit of a spiritual portal that supports the changes and the transformation that we are inviting in on the soul healing adventure, on the healing days that we're going to be doing some sort of structured activities. I think also the mindset of the Balinese people and understanding how they live the way they live, with purpose and spiritual devotion, and just immersing ourselves and connecting into that culture, their lessons that we're going to be taking away, that we can actually bring home and then integrate into our own lives. It's a way of being. The Balinese people wake up in the morning and they create these baskets that they fill with flowers and offerings to the gods. That's how they start off their day in gratitude and devotion. So I think there are tools and practices and rituals that we're gonna see and experience and connect with, that are gonna be enlightening for us, in our own journeys.
Awesome. Oh, what have I done? Okay, so let's talk quickly about Bali. This is what the island looks like. And we spent quite a lot of time exploring different areas on the island, what happens where, etc. And so the three key areas that you can see on this map, number one is Ubud, and that's where we're going to start. So we'll go through the itinerary, the details, a bit later on in the presentation. But just to give you an idea that we're going to go to three different places. Ubud is more of a city environment, but it's not the hectic, overcrowded tourist. It is busy, but there you can get excellent exposure to the temples, the culture, their way of life, going into the markets and things like that. Then we're moving on to beach environments, Candidasa Beach, which isn't too far away, but there we're going to be right on the ocean. And so it's going to be a totally different vibe. And the different places offer different atmospheres for healing, and the different processes that we will be going through. And then after Candidasa Beach, we're going to move down, we're going to catch a ferry across to Nusa Penida Island. And there again, it's going to be a totally different experience. So just to give you a visual, concept of our movements on the island, then our accommodation. So we've got Ubud. We're going to be there from the 5 to 11 September. We've booked a place called Kayane Suites. And then we're going to move across to Candidasa Beach, and we've got a beach resort there from the 11th to the 16th of September. And then on the 16th, we move down to the island, and we're going to be in a more of a jungle, so this resort is in the center of the island, and it's more like a jungle experience. So three totally different places with three totally different feelings. And we wanted you to understand that we did so much research when it came to choosing these three different spots. The reason why is we wanted to make sure that they all have highly recommended. Their ratings they've got excellent ratings, because your experience when you leave our program and you go back to your room, that's your safe space. You need to have a comfortable bed. You want to make sure that their service is good, that they have a reputation for good food. We've heard rumors of Bali belly, which sounds like it's the most horrendous thing. So what we're doing is we're making sure that we've created as much of a good experience for you by sourcing places and suppliers with excellent reputations. Then each of these places it's like a villa setting. We're not going to be the only group that's at each of the resorts, because they can accommodate a much bigger group of people, but it's going to be comfortable. We will have our own areas to actually do the work that needs to be done. So we're not going to, have crowds and crowds of people around us. To give you an example, the first one, Kayayana Suites, they've got 22 rooms, and we're looking at having 16 people there. So depending on who takes single accommodation and who chooses to share, we could probably have half of those rooms, used up by our group. So there are smallish resorts, but we won't be the only people there, but we will have our own private spaces. And this is going to be very instrumental in the healing process. And Jax is going to run through that program, in a few minutes now. All of the staff are professionals. We organizing private transport. Again, we're doing our checks and balances, making sure that whoever provides the transport has a good reputation and will deliver, sound vehicles. They've got the necessary permits. Bali is actually very strict with their rules on the road, like drivers and even the little motorcyclists that run around. They've got very strict rules when you're in a vehicle. So that gives us a level of comfort as well. We're going to have a blend of privacy and supportive community, and you'll have a look and a better understanding when we go through our itinerary, and we're going to be surrounded by Bali's natural healing environment. I quickly put together just a snapshot overview. So this is our Ubud accommodation, what it looks like, to give you a feel for it. As you can see, beautiful, nice, spacious rooms. Obviously, for sharing accommodation, the beds will be 2 single beds, not one. You wouldn't have to share a bed. Unless you're a couple and you want to share a bed. We are going to be arranging for the beds to be, 2 separate beds for sharing accommodation. Then Candidas Beach. Doesn't this look beautiful? Stunning, right there on the beach. And then Nusa Penida Island. As you can see, the resort is right there in the middle of a jungle type environment. Totally different, environments. So now that we've got you excited about all of this, Jax is going to take over and talk about the real serious soul healing journey that you will take. Over to you, Jax.
Okay, so I sort of keep on getting the question is like, is this not just a retreat? And we could go to Bali on our own and do a tour, and it would cost us a lot less. And where's the value in this? And what are you offering? And so what I have to say is this is more than just a retreat. It's not like a normal retreat. This is actually something that has taken 25 years of my experience as a guide and a facilitator and in designing retreats and structuring it into a program that is taking you on a journey home to yourself at the highest level. So it's about an inner awakening, a connection to your light. It's about a deep letting go of whatever is holding you back and has been holding you back in your life. It is about a reconnection with your natural gifts and your natural talents and what you have to bring, what makes you who you are, what makes you unique and special. So it really is, it's a reconnection with your vision for the future. So it is really all about you, and a reconnection at a sacred level with the essence of who you are and what you're here to do. Okay, so Caro, we can go to the next slide. So we have designed this sacred return experience, and we've designed it into sort of 3 major components, and the crux of it is actually the core healing days. So of the 15 days that we're going to be in Bali, 5 of those are going to be healing days. So in every place that we are, we're going to have at least 1 healing day, and in one of the places we're going to have more than 1 healing day. These are then, and that's where the guided structured transformational work is going to happen. And some of it and most of it will probably be facilitated by Caro and I. And then we would source facilitators. Either there might be facilitators who are coming along on the journey with us, who have a skill or a gift, like if there's someone who can do breath work and they want to facilitate a bit of breath work, we'll give them the opportunity to do that. So if you've got a gift and you want to share your gift, we'll create space in the program to see where you can actually hold some space. If there's no one who has that capability, then we'll bring in a Balinese healer to offer that piece into the agenda. But the most of the structural work, I'm going to be holding the container for that work to happen. Then around that healing work will be a couple of integration days. So every time we do a day of healing, the day afterwards will be a day of rest. And that's a day for you to really be still with yourself, journal, rest, relax, absorb the insights, embody them. Or if you want to do something that's not on our agenda on those days, and you want to pair up with a mate and go exploring in Bali, that's also a day you could do that on. Then we have very structured activity days where we've planned for cultural immersion and gentle adventures. And that's things like going on the swing. And what I've done is design the program in a way that the activities that we do actually support the healing work that we're doing. So say, for example, we've done a deep letting go process. Then the next day we will go to the baths where we're doing a cleansing in the water just to support that process. And in the evening, we'll be doing fire ceremony. So we're using the elements to actually support what's happening in the healing journey. The next thing, which is really powerful, is the sharing of your experiences from an integration perspective, just coming into groups, coming into community, sharing what's going on for you, having people hold space for you, both in community and Caro and I as facilitators. In some of the free time, we're available. If something comes up that feels overwhelming or has triggered you, we're there to actually hold the space and support your process, so that you feel held and seen and valued and important, because every single person who comes on this journey with us really matters to us. Your well-being really matters to us. And then we professional, both of us have got a lot of history and experience in the development space, in the spiritual growth space, and in the transformation space. So I've been doing this for over 25 years, guiding people, creating transformational sacred spaces. So, but with gentleness. I don't believe in breaking people to build them. I believe in soft touches. So everything is very, very gentle. And also bringing in creative processes. And I'm trying to design it in a way that is not hard work. I think we've done enough hard work on ourselves. And so what I'm wanting to do is create a program with creating a container with a lot of intention, and that everybody is really intentional about what you want to get out of the process, so that you come in clear, and then all of the processes you will be aligning with what your intentions for the soul healing adventure is for yourself, so that you take out of it and you get the transformation from the container that I'm creating and I'm holding for you. So there'll also, like I said, be plenty of time to rest, have a massage, play, and just feel free and have fun. We're going to laugh together. We might cry together. We're going to celebrate together. We're going to be in ceremony together. We're going to be in ritual together. And there's going to be time for you, for yourself as well. So that's sort of the core of what the experience is actually about. Now I'm going to go into the detail. Caro, if you can move on. Okay, so what's one word that you would use to describe what you most want to get from the soul healing adventure. So, what, in one word, what is your most important intention? And maybe just pop it in the chat for us. Or if you care to share it with us, put on your video and let's hear what your intention is. What brought you here? What's attracting you to the soul healing adventure? Hey, Beryl?
Love.
See, I
Love
see
and
you.
respect is really, yeah.
Okay. So what is your intention? What's your one thing that you want to get out of the soul healing adventure?
I need to, I think, change and do things that really bring me a lot of joy.
Oh, okay.
I think that is the key, absolute key.
Joy. So you want to walk away with joy. Harriet, what's your one word?
I'm sitting in the dark here. The lights keep on going down, so on and off. So I don't know what's happening. Good evening, everybody.
Good evening.
I just want an opportunity to come back to me, you know, because I just feel that I've given parts of me to a lot of people. So I just want to bring myself back to myself and really redefine myself going forward. And next month I will be 60 on the 1st. So I'm getting into that journey where it's more a legacy journey where, questions like, what do I want to be remembered for? Those kind of things, those kind of deeper, meaningful things I would like to do to leave a bigger impact going forward into my golden years. Sort of, yeah, that's basically the essence.
Fabulous. Thank you for sharing, guys. And I see that Candace hasn't got clear yet, but the word that came out was connection. So thanks for sharing that, Candace. That's wonderful. Okay, Caro, can we go to the next slide? So you all know me here. You've all actually been on one of my retreats before, Beryl, Candace, Harriet. So you're return attendees. But for those people who haven't met me, who might be watching the video, I'm Jax the Heartist, and I've got 25 years of experience creating transformational experiences, safe spaces, containers in which people can actually do the work. I hate saying this because I don't like talking about myself in this way, but I've just received an award. If it gives anybody a sense of safety and certainty that I actually know what I'm doing, as the most empowering life and leadership coach 2025 by MEA Markets, and it's the African Excellence Awards. And so what makes me different is my heart-centered approach as a transformational coach, that I don't come from the head. I work very intuitively and from a very connected, intuitive place, a very spiritual place. I've walked my own spiritual, personal healing journey, and I've fought my demons and I have claimed my gifts and I've healed my wounds. And so I believe to do for other people, to hold space for other people, it starts with you first. You cannot take other people where you haven't been yourself. And so where I am in my life right now is I'm very connected into the light that I am. And what I'm bringing is to create this container and activate the container with my light and then invite other people in with their light so that our light is all working together to achieve the outcomes and intentions that every person is setting for themselves. So it's, I don't heal, I create healing spaces. That's what I do for your body to do the healing that it needs to do, for you to find the answers within yourself, for you to connect with your strengths and your resources. What I do is I see people. I can see those gifts. I can see the needs. I can see the wounds and the vulnerabilities, and I can hold space for those. So that's one of my unique gift. One of them is the ability to see people in their light, and also to hold space, to dance tenderly with their shadows, so that we can find the gifts in the shadows and unlock those gifts. So yeah, that's enough about me. And that's for the people. Thank you for all of the kind words, everybody. I saw them in the chat, and I'm just receiving that and allowing that to fill my heart up. And you'll see my hands went to my heart exactly like this picture that you're seeing on the screen. And so this takes us into the actual journey we're going to be going on, which is, you know, and you guys have all given so much to so many other people. And Caro and I are the ones who are going to be there to hold space for you as we go on this journey. So the first day is all about welcoming. It's a welcome home to yourself. And after decades of showing up for others and being there for them, this is your time to be welcome, seen, and supported. So we're going to talk about what happens on day one. Caro, if you can go to the next slide. So it's about welcome home to yourself, and the theme is arrival. So there will be a private airport pickup at the airport and taking you to our first accommodation, where there'll be a seamless check-in. Caro will make sure of that. And then we start opening up a sacred space, and that's part of the containment that we're going to be creating. We want to connect into the land, the earth, and that starts with a little bit of a walk, connecting into nature and accessing the energies of place, the spirit of place, and calling on the energies there to support whatever process or transformation is going to be happening over the course of the next 15 days. We then going to have, I think we'll start with a tea ceremony and some flower blessings. Then we're going to do a soulful welcome dinner with your companions. So it's meeting the people who are in the group and just having a chance to create some rapport and get to know one another, because we're going to be journeying together for the next 15 days. And then we start ceremony, and there'll be an opening circle where we're honoring who's arrived in the space. So who are you now? Where do you come from? What is your journey? And what do you want to actually get out of the soul healing adventure? So very clear, like I said, intention setting, so that before the journey even starts, you're very clear on what you want to get out of it. Okay. If there are any questions, just make a note of your questions, and we will leave some time to answer them towards the end. Okay, day 2 is all about releasing what no longer serves. It's about releasing the weight that you carry. And it's the weight. How we start is we go back to the roots, where you come from. Okay, and have a look at what are the patterns that you're still carrying, what are the weight, what's the masks that you wear, what are the burdens, what do you want to let go of, what do you need to let go of? And then also, what are some of the patterns, what are some of the gifts that have been handed down generationally that you need to claim and honor as well? So that's our starting point for the journey. Next slide. Okay, and what we're doing here is in our letting go, we're actually clearing the path. Okay, so we start off day 1 of healing is spiritual connection, journaling. So journaling, I'm going to give you some tools and techniques to journal in a way that connects you to your higher self. So it's not just journaling, it's a process to journal to access your higher wisdom and information. We're going to do a soul healing piece of workshop. So on every healing day, there's going to be a little piece of workshop in the morning, and it's all about the power of letting go, We're going to use some breath work and soul retrieval. I'm going to be pulling on some of my NLP skills and doing some fusion work for soul retrieval. We're going to fuse back parts of ourselves that we've actually forgotten. And then we're going to use the fire to help the letting go process. So the element of fire is really great for letting go and purification. And then we're going to end off that evening with a sound journey under the stars. So that is, so I want you just to think top of mind, what is one thing that if you let that one thing go, it's going to be the difference that's going to make the biggest difference in your life. If you just let that one thing go, and you can pop it into the chat bar. And it's just what's top of mind. The first thing that comes. And if you want to share, put on your video and share with us, you're welcome to do that. Okay, if nobody is clear about, okay, anything that's holding me back from creating the best life possible. Okay, we're going to go and get a lot more specific on the day around what it is that is holding you back and get much clearer on that kind of thing to feel more alive. So Harriet, what do you need to let go of to feel more alive? That's the question you're going to be answering. Okay, what's the thing that's actually draining your energy and making you feel not alive? Okay, so we're going to answer that question. Okay, self-doubt. Thanks. Thanks, Candace. So it helps to get really intentional about each piece because then you know what you're bringing into the journey. Okay, day number 3, we are going, now that we've let go and we've cleared the path, we are going to reconnect with your soul's wisdom and rediscover the wisdom that has always been within you. It is there. The answers are there. It's about learning how to access them, and it's about deep inner listening. So it's learning how to listen to yourself, learning to listen to your inner guidance, learning how to access that inner guidance. And we're going to create spaces where we can actually connect with those inner voices and our guides and our resources that are there to actually support us on our journey. So the morning ritual will start with a gentle body awakening. Then we're going to go into listening to your inner wisdom. We're going to move into a soul poetry circle and do a throat chakra clearing. And the throat is all about how we express. So it's really about first we start listening to ourselves, and then we need to clear the blockages in terms of being able to express what it is that we're hearing, to move that into action in the world, so that we can actually manifest our creative possibilities. Then we're going to have a really gentle sort of afternoon of sharing, and then silent time in the evening because it's quite a deep, intense day. So it's just time to rest and let that all settle and integrate everything that we've done up until this point. Okay, Caro, what we'll also do on that day is we might do oracle card readings, so that those are other ways in which you can actually access your higher wisdom, and some mirror exercises as well. So is this something that you know now that future you will only know in 1 year's time? And I ask that question because often we don't listen. We don't create space and time. We're very busy. We're very distracted. We're very there for other people. And so we have this deep knowing, but we're not connected to it because we haven't created the space and time to hear our wisdom. And often something will happen a year down the line, which you actually knew. Intuitively, you knew the future, but you weren't paying attention. So there's this question of what do you know now that future you will only know in a year's time? And that's what the listening is for. It's to really come into, like, what am I not seeing? What am I not hearing? What do I know that I'm not paying attention to? because I don't want to hear it. And it's almost like coming into that truth, because that's such important truth as we start looking, connecting with our power. You know, when we are not really in alignment with truth, when we are in avoidance or resistance or lying to ourselves, it's very hard to create a future that is aligned with our higher self and our essence. So it's really coming into truth with yourself. So if you can answer that question, if there's something you think you know now that you're only going to know in a year's time, you can share that, but I'm not going to spend a lot of time here. You can pop it in the chat bar if something comes to mind. Okay, let's move on, Caro. So day 4 of healing is about renewing your spirit and stepping into your power. And this is about embracing the opportunity to refine what your next chapter of your life can be. Okay, so this is really about accessing your light and stepping into your power. And the theme is joy, creativity, and rebirth. So we're going to start with a sunrise meditation and a mindful nature walk. And obviously we'll have some journal prompts with that. We're going to do a heart opening meditation, answering the question, who are you becoming? So after you've let go of everything and you've listened to yourself, who are you now becoming? And the processes we're going to do here are soul collage, which is really an opportunity to visualize and see the message that your soul wants you to know about who you're becoming. And then we're going to go into legacy mapping. So legacy mapping is like answering your question, Harriet, around what is the legacy you want to leave? What is the purpose? What is the vision for the future, for the second phase? Once we've done that, we're also going to talk a little bit about the stepping stones or the bridges. You know, once you know what your legacy is, who you're becoming and your legacy, then we're going to start mapping what are the stepping stones or the milestones and the resources that you need and the steps that you're going to need to take to actually make that possible. Then in the afternoon, we're going to do a Balinese empowerment ritual, and that is really an honoring of the who you are that is becoming. It really is an acknowledgement. It is a reclaiming of your power. It's a stepping into your power. And like I said, we're going to be using some of the activities to reinforce what we're doing in the healing. So, for example, the letting go day, then we will go to the waters to wash away. The stepping into your power, we're going to be going to the gate of heaven. And it really is like a ceremonial action of stepping through the gates. So crossing over, crossing the threshold into your new life. So we're going to use those activities to actually say to the subconscious mind, we really are taking a step into a totally new reality. And then we're going to have a joyful celebration dinner with music and meaningful connection. Okay, so we're going to have a little bit of fun. Yeah, so that's day 4. Okay, so now the question is, if you could reclaim one part of yourself, how would that make everything different? What's the part that you would want to reclaim? And how would that make everything different? Like a part of you that's been neglected or suppressed or minimized or criticized or has shrunk or has been in hiding. So if you could reclaim just one part of yourself, what would that part be? And how would everything be different if you reclaim that part? Okay. So then we go to the last day where we're in Nusa Penida on this beautiful, beautiful island where we're going to be doing the integration, blessings, and then we unfortunately have to go home. Now that we've come home to ourselves, we have to go home to our houses. But returning home you'll return home not just refreshed, but fundamentally renewed and transformed. You won't go back the same person as you arrived. You're going to be an updated, renewed version at your highest level of who you really are. That's the ultimate intention of redefining the new you for the next phase of your life. A joyful child. That's who you want to reclaim. My life would feel like an adventure of possibilities and fun. How beautiful does that sound? Thank you for sharing, Tubbs. That's wonderful. Okay. Okay, so in the integration and blessings, it's about carrying that light home. So we'd start off with a sunrise blessing and a vision meditation. And then we go into some affirmations and group reflections on the entire journey. So that's a lot of the closing integration circle. And the affirmations are sort of updates, like identity updates. Then there's guidance for maintaining. So we now finished the 15 days. How do you integrate this and not fall back into old patterns? So yeah. And then there's the gratitudes, obviously, and for one another, for the whole experience, for everything that you're taking away that you're actually grateful for. And then the departure with airport transfers provided, sort of back to the airport. That's what we do to get you back to the airport. So that is the journey. And then the question is, what one thing would you most like to return home with from this journey? What do you want to take home with you? It can be a physical thing. It can be a state. It can be a feeling. What's the one thing that you would most like to return home with that will make the biggest difference in your life? Okay, so you can pop it into the chat bar in your own time. And Caro, we can go to the next slide, because I'm going to tell you what we're going to offer to give you to take home, and what we're offering from this healing journey to feel empowered with love and respect for yourself. Beautiful, a shift in your energy. So what we're offering, and the way that the program's been structured, is to take you into a place of calm and peace, inner calm and peace, vitality, transformation, confidence, deep love, surrender, connection, and a sense of freedom, and a sense that you are reconnected to your light and that you remember who you are. Okay, feeling empowered with love and respect for yourself, knowing your true and highest self, grounding of your dreams, fun. Okay, fun will bring vitality. Fun brings a sense of feeling alive and joyful. Okay, so that's what we are offering to send you home with. You'll also get a gift pack that will be filled with all sorts of wonderful goodies. And you will have a journal that you will be using to just capture your insights along the way, and your thoughts and your gifts and everything that you're actually going to be experiencing. So this journal actually becomes a container to hold your journey. And it's something that you'll be able to keep coming back to and using over and over again as you journey through life. Okay, so that's what we will give you to take home. And then obviously we're aware that true transformation requires space and time to integrate. So we honor this essential part of your journey. And what we've put together is an optional extra 3-month post-retreat support program. It's optional. You don't have to attend it. Yes, so it's 5 days of healing over the 15 days, yes. So they're not going to be back-to-back tubs. They are going to be spread across the different venues, because we're going to 3 different places. Okay. And then there's 3 private coaching sessions, either with Caro or myself. This is the post-retreat support. We're going to have monthly group integration calls or repatternings, depending on what's needed by the group or what's coming up at the time. We'll give you access to all of the recorded meditations that we're going to be doing on the retreat and the practices. We're going to set up a private online community for ongoing support. We'll probably do that on Facebook, Caro.
Yeah.
And then we'll be sharing resources for you to keep on maintaining your new practices. And obviously we here. Caro's here, Jax is here, If you need support in any way, you just reach out to us. So the real test of transformation is how it lives in your everyday world, and we are there to support you. Okay. So that is, I think that's it from my side, Caro. Let's see what's next. Yeah, okay. So then I'm gonna maybe let me just talk about the flights. Okay, so I've just seen that the price on flights, I started tracking cheap flights. And today, actually, the price just went down to 12,900 and something rand. So about 13,000 rand. It's been sitting at about ranging from 13,700 to 14,500 for the flights. So we won't be booking the flights. But what I would like to say to you is if we can coordinate that we arrive at a particular time and we book our flights so that it makes the airport transfers easier, that we all arrive as a group. And maybe what we could do if we all say, once we know who's going, is like that we book on the same flight so that we, obviously not everybody's coming from Joburg. Caro's coming from Cape Town, but certainly the Joburg people, if we say, okay, that's the flight, this is the price, and then we all book, then we arrive at the same time, and then maybe we get a shuttle for those people. Yeah, it would be lovely to travel together. It sort of starts the journey together. But obviously, you know, we don't know, we've got a couple more months to start enrolling people. We are in April now, April, May, June, July, August, September. We got 5 months. So as people sign up, they were going to be booking. And if there's availability on those flights, it would be great to have them on those flights. So I'll send you the details of those flight details, Harriet and Beryl and Candace. I'll send you that as well. And Tabs. And yeah, and then from there, our commitment is to get you from the airport with a shuttle to the accommodation and back to the airport. Okay, but we're not booking the flights for you. That's something you're going to do. Okay.
Yeah. So shall I?
Over to you, Caro.
Okay, so the last bit is a bit of details and nitty-gritties, like the fine prints that people often don't read properly, and then it can get you into big trouble. So first of all, Jax has just gone through the 5 core soul healing focus days.
Tabs has got her hand up. She has a question. Can we answer that?
Okay.
You'll carry on. Yeah, Tabs. Sorry, Caro.
Hi, sorry, it's in the chat. I was just wondering what's like the maximum capacity of the group?
Okay, so we said 16 is maximum.
Okay.
Minimum is 6. So if we have 6 people, we're on. We're aiming for 16. That's including Caro and I. So we would like to have 14 participants plus the 2 of us. So it's 16 of us all together.
Okay.
Sorry, Caro, over to you again.
Okay, so let's try that again. So Jax has just gone through the 5 days of focused on the soul healing. And the reason why we've taken so much time around that portion of the program is because up to this point, we've been talking a lot about the adventure side, the destination, how excited we are about this, but we haven't actually presented to you the soul healing components of this whole adventure. So Jax, thank you so much for the effort that you've put together, making sure that it has a flow. It makes a lot of sense, because the bottom line is that you are here to heal your soul. Now, if you decide to join us and one day you want to do something else, that is entirely up to you. But this program has been structured in such a way that if you participate along the way, especially in those 5 days of healing, and then the activity days that we are coordinating to complement the healing days, you will walk away with a result and with a complete transformation. Okay, then you've got 4 days of packed adventure. So we are looking at more of the actual experiences that you have on the island, like the swings, going up to Mount Bateau for breakfast one morning and to watch the sunrise, swimming with the manta rays, all those nice, exciting adventure things that you always hear about in Bali. We are integrating components of that into the program. So you've got 4 days of adventure. There are 3 rest days. And rest is so important. I mean, your soul healing is going to be intensive. Those days are going to be intensive. They're going to be raw. You're going to face up to some of your demons, and it's going to be exciting. So it's going to be like a whole mixed mash, fruit salad of emotions that come out. You're going to need the rest. So those 3 rest days, you get to choose what you want to do on those days. You can sit and chill by the pool or have cocktails on the beach. You don't have to go and explore the island, but maybe you want to go and explore the island and do some activities that we haven't got on the program. That is entirely up to you. 2 of the days in the middle are going to be travel days, when we travel from Ubud to Candidasa Beach, and then when we travel from Candidasa Beach across to Nusa Penida Island. Obviously, we can make it exciting. There are some things that you can do in the car as a group and have some fun so that you don't get bored. And if there are interesting places along the way, we might stop and see. But 2 days, we have to travel to get the full impact of the experience. And then obviously we got to the arrival and departure transfers, and we're going to have to travel by ferry across to Nusa Penida Island. So that's it in a nutshell. Then detailed itinerary. What I'm going to do is I'm quickly going to go onto the website. We've had quite a few questions about the itinerary, what's included, what's not included, etc., etc. So I just want to quickly, sorry, it wants to go to our Facebook Live. So I'm going to try and share again. Bear with me a second. We've got a beautiful website. I don't know how many of you have actually gone to it, but there are 2 things I want to focus on now. I know we're running out of time, and it's been a lot of information to try and process. So the itinerary, just as a snapshot, here's the Ubud itinerary. So on Friday, 5th of September is arrival and the opening, day 1, opening the sacred space. It's quite important. Now, you may come from any part of the world. So one of the reasons why we haven't included flights is because I'm in Cape Town, Jackson's in Joburg. The prices are completely different. Okay, the logistics of getting there is completely different. Now, if we have someone from Australia or from the UK joining us, again, it's totally different. Wherever you're coming from, make sure that you arrive in time to start with us in the afternoon. I think it's about 2:30 that we're looking at in the afternoon that we're going to start the program. Okay, on Friday, the 5th of September. Then Saturday, the 6th of September is a full healing day. Sunday is an adventure day in Ubud and surrounds. Monday is the rest day. Then we go back into healing. Or are we mixing the healing and the...
No, that's right.
It is right.
9th of September is a healing day.
Yes, 9th of September, we go back to healing. So we're doing this in cycles. Healing, adventure, rest. Healing, adventure, rest. Okay. Then Wednesday, we're going to do adventure. And then Thursday, we pack up. We leave Ubud. we make our way down to Candidasa Beach with sightseeing along the way and games in the car, maybe. to have
Caro, so
Yes.
there's a question that talks about how long are the commutes. So maybe you can talk about how long on average it is from Candidasa, from Ubud to Candidasa and from Candidasa to Nusa Penida.
Yeah, so
Average, if we just did that without stopping along the way.
yeah, so from Ubud to Candidasa is just, I think, 2 to 3 hours. It's very dependent on traffic conditions and things like that. Bali is a place where you have to, so, you know, it might only be 100 kilometers. The distances are short, but apparently it is a very interesting place to journey and to drive. So they suggest that you actually hire drivers. So, you know, it's only a few hours drive, but what we're going to do is we're going to have probably 2 vehicles or 3, depending on the number of people. So 6-seater vehicles with a driver, and we'll, you know, try our best to get the same people to look after us for the entire period of time. On Nusa Penida Island, it's a little bit more tricky because we have to go by ferry across, so we might need to change drivers on the island. But for continuity's sake, it would be nice to actually start forming a relationship with our drivers, because they're going to be looking after us. And our intention is to say to them, these are the activities we want to do. And then they create a program for us. And we're also going to look at the times of the day, because some of the places where we want to go, for instance, the Gates of Heaven, it gets extremely busy with tourists. It's a very hot tourist place to go to. And if you go early morning, for instance, you can skip the lines and, you know, get the experience without it being overcrowded. So we are going to look at those kind of aspects as well. Okay, so we're going to travel to Candidasa Island. Now, from Candidasa Beach. The other question was Candidasa Beach to Nusa Penida is going to be, that's going to be a bit of a longer commute. So it's about 2 hours to 3 hours, depending on traffic, to get from Candidasa Beach back down to Denpasar, where we catch the ferry across. And then the ferry, I think, is about an hour. I can't remember. It might be longer. But what we'll do is I will put the details, you know, in the itinerary. We're going to expand on the information we've got on the website so that you've got a better idea. Okay, so that's Ubud, Candidasa Beach. What we're going to do is Friday the 12th. So now remember, on the 11th, Thursday the 11th, we actually check in. And it's a travel day, so we don't want to put too much pressure. The travel days, in theory, include a component of rest, because they, you know, fall on the rest days. So if we leave in the morning and we get there lunchtime, we have some lunch, and in the afternoon, that is your own free time, right? And on the rest days, we were thinking, we don't want to put you under pressure to, you know, have roll call at 7 o'clock in the morning. If you want to sleep in, you can sleep in. So it's going to be a day where we take a step back, and you can come to us and approach us if you want to do a special one-on-one session with us on the rest days. If you need any help, advice, etc., we're always there available for you. But we're not going to create anything formal on that day. We will communicate with you the expectations and the call times for the next day, etc., either by sending a message to your room or, you know, the day before. But that is a total day where we step back and we leave you to it. Okay. So Candidasa Beach, we start off with a healing day on Friday, the 12th of September. Then we have an adventure day, and this is where we're thinking of going up to Mount Batur for breakfast. We've had a question on, ooh, is this like a hectic hike? How fit do you need to be? So yes, you can hike it if you want to, but there are tours, and the tour that we are looking at is to take a vehicle up the mountain. There is a point where they can get to, and you can't get any further by vehicle, but it is still a very special experience. If you want to stay there with the vehicle, experience the nature, maybe walk around, have breakfast, etc. You don't have to climb to the top of the mountain, and you don't have to. We're not here for a fitness exercise. We're here for something that's connecting with your soul. And if intensive hiking and climbing is not your thing, we totally understand, because that's, not everybody can do that. And we want to include everybody as far as possible in our activities. Then Sunday the 14th is another rest day. Monday is the healing day. Tuesday is another travel day. So this is where we travel from Candidasa through to Nusa Penida. We will be taking a ferry across. So that is a boat. If you get seasick, I would suggest bring, motion sickness tablets and medication with you, and maybe some ginger sweets. But that kind of information we'll put in your travel pack, to prepare for your trip. Then we'll check in, and again, I expect our arrival time will be a bit later than with Candidasa, because it's a longer commute on this day. But the rest of the evening and the afternoon will be yours to do with what you want to. And Nusa Penida is a very special place. It's a teeny tiny little island. And we really want to include the Manta Points snorkeling, which you'll actually get to experience snorkeling with the manta rays. I think that is just going to be awesome. Then, so we start with an activity day. We have another rest day directly afterwards, because we think that the travel is going to be quite intensive. And the very last day of the retreat, we want that to be the final healing day, so that you leave on high notes. And the 20th is going to be going back on the ferry to Denpasar, to the main island, and through to the airport for departure. Okay. So you wanted to say something, Jax?
Yeah, there's a couple of questions that we just need to pick up. So finish your thought, and then we can turn to those questions.
Yeah, no, this is just, that's the full itinerary. So maybe let's quickly look at the questions.
So there was a question around visas.
Yes, so that's the next thing I wanted to go through was okay. Weather. Okay. The weather in September is actually one of the best months to go to Bali. We did that investigation as well. So it's not a rainy season. It's a very good time of the year to go to Bali.
The rain is in October, so the monsoon season's October. So that's why we wanted to do it closer to the beginning of September, so that we really. But even apparently, if it rains for a period of time and then it stops. It doesn't rain the whole day.
Yeah.
So I think we'll be okay.
Okay, so let's quickly go and talk about investment and inclusions. What is included, what isn't, etc. How can you book your spot? So I think most of you have come and looked at this page and seen, okay, this is what it costs, 57575 South African rands. And what does that get you? Because if you go and start working out all the figures, you know, accommodation, meals, activities doesn't quite come to that. However, you have just seen the whole soul healing program. And Jax, what did you work out was the value of that program?
So excluding the 3-month coaching program, which is an optional extra, the value, when I went in and I started researching and saying this is our program, it's about 115,000 rands worth of value that we've created.
And we're giving it to you for like 15,000 rand.
Well, the whole package, I'm saying, yeah.
Yeah. So of the 57575, only 15,000 rand is allocated to the soul healing coaching component. The rest is accommodation, transfers, activities, meals, etc. You know, what needs to be put in place for compliance and health and safety, etc. So in a nutshell, that is the cost. To secure your spot, you can pay the whole lot up front, or if you need to, we can do a payment arrangement. A minimum payment of 11,515 is required to secure your place, and then Jackson and I can talk to you, and you know, because each person might want a slightly different payment arrangement for the rest, that's up to you. We're not going to have a large group of people. We want to work with you to be able to afford this. Full payment.
I want to say something. I want to say something at this point. So why are we doing this? Why are we offering it at this rate? Okay, I think the first thing is we're in a learning curve, right? It's the first time we're doing this, Caro and I. And so like I didn't even have any clue of what the value is of what we're putting together as a starting point. So you are the lucky first recipients to be offered this at a really, like this rate. You might look at it and say, oh, that plus flights, it's so expensive. But if you put it in context for what you're getting, it's actually huge amounts of value. The second thing is you are our pioneers, our soul healing adventure pioneers. So you are the first people who will be going on this journey with us. And so we want to say thank you. We want to reward you and encourage you to be our ambassadors, to start sharing, spreading the word, letting people know when you have a great experience, to come back and give us testimonials and I'm going to ask some of you to give us testimonials, even to include in our marketing material for this journey that we're starting to market now. So like we feel we're asking you to share your gifts with us. If you've got a gift you want to share on one of the days, we do have a day where there's space for people to share their gifts. So we're asking you to bring some of your own value as well to the party. And so it just feels like you say, transparent and beautiful. Like, you know, the reason I do the work that I do is to spread love, light, hope, and joy, and to take people into their light. That's what I'm here for. And so there is a real passion for doing this work, but at the same time, we do need to make enough money to make it sustainable. And so that's how we priced it in the beginning. Next time around, it's going to be a lot more expensive. And we're going to be doing this over and over and over again to different venues. So we are setting up a separate business called Soul Healing Adventures, Caro and I, where we will be running these journeys and these adventures. We'll be bringing people from overseas to South Africa, to Africa, and bringing them home here to our country. So we have lots of plans and lots of places, but this is the virgin voyage.
The inaugural adventure.
Yeah.
Okay, so one question that we were asked as well is, built into this price listed, the 57575, is sharing accommodation. We've done that to try and keep the price reasonable for you, but not everybody's comfortable about sharing a room. So if you want to have your own room, you would need to pay for the full room, because what we've done is we've taken the cost of the room. So if the room is 1,000 Rand a night, we've allocated 500 Rand a night to your ticket. Okay, so in order for you to be able to have your own room, you would need to put in the balance for the actual room. So there is the option for a single room of your own. And at the moment, there's availability. But the closer you leave it to the time to book and to request a single room, the less chance we might have of being able to offer that to you. So let's quickly look at what you'll get. It is jam-packed with value, as Jax has mentioned. Yes, we have put this together and only charging you a very small portion for the soul healing components. There's good reason for it. And you are getting 15 full days of adventures and soul healing and rest. It's sharing accommodation. So you've got the dates here, and this information is on the website. I'm sharing from the website at the moment. Arrival and departure airport transfers. So you need to select the correct airport in Denpasar in Bali. And there seems to be a little bit of, confusion of the airport's details, because some airlines call it Denpasar and some airlines call it this Gastanaguri Rai International Airport. If you're not 100% sure, please contact us so that we can double check for you. I'm in WhatsApp communication with the hotels in Bali, so we can always check and make 100% sure before you actually buy your ticket. So you'll get an airport transfer on arrival and an airport transfer on departure. Breakfast, lunch, and dinner for each day has been included. How we work out the rest days, meals, we'll discuss that closer to the time. But basically what we've done is we've allocated a reasonable amount for good food. Bali belly is definitely a thing. I've done a lot of research on it, and it's not something that you want to get. You do get cheaper food available than what we've put in the budget, but what we've done is made sure that we have enough to pay for reputable, food from reputable outlets, restaurants, etc., so that we can mitigate the risk of getting sick. All official activities listed in the itinerary are included, including entry fees. So if you go and do some research and see the tours that are on offer on Bali Island, you can get tours for like dirt cheap, like 400 Rand for the tour. But all it includes is a driver and no entry fees, no meals, no nothing. We've made sure that you don't need to worry with those kind of things. There are extras, optional extras, like you can buy an Instagram photo package and things like that, that you can do. You don't need that for your soul healing. You might need it for your Instagram account or whatever. But there are extra fun things that you can add on if you feel like it. The official healing activities that we've just gone through, that's all included, including any materials that you need, any activities, etc. You've got your 3 rest days, which we still included meals on those days. Okay. If you want to book an NLP session or a resonance repatterning session with Jax or myself on that day, that would be an extra cost. And that is entirely up to you. It's not essential, but you may get to a point in the program where you realize, oh my word, I am stuck. I need to work through this. And this is not something I can work through in a group environment. It's one of the things we can do on a rest day is that either Jax or myself can work through that and help you on an individual basis at an extra cost.
I just also want to speak about, what's not included, you'll talk about.
Yeah.
That. Okay.
So all the transport that's needed for the official program is included. So arrivals, your transport to and from activities, and the ferry we've mentioned. Interactive workshop sessions, which that's actually the soul healing component, a nice fun goodie bag, and some art therapies. So we want to encourage creativity as far as possible as well. So what is not included? Number one is air tickets. We've just explained why. Number two is your visa application. Not all passport holders need a visa, but for South Africans, it is $35, and it's available to apply online. So you can get the visa on arrival when you land in Bali, but apparently the queues are long. So if you apply online beforehand and you get your visa beforehand, you will be fast-tracked through the arrival process when you get off your flight. So I would suggest that you do that. One word of warning though, there's a lot of options to book your visa. We will give you the correct link. You don't want to book it on a scam site, please. It's $35, and we will supply you with the correct link to apply for your visa. Travel insurance is not included.
So just let me take a step back there, Caro. So we will step you through the process. So as soon as you've decided, okay, we are doing this, I've booked my tickets, we will then have supporting documentation, materials that are going to prepare you. So you need your visa. This is what you need. These are your checklists. We'll give you a survival guide.
Yeah.
So that you know what we're going to be doing. You'll have the program. You'll have the things to be aware of, what to watch out for. How do you get your visa? Where do you go? Everything. So that's part of what Caro's here to support, is that we make this process seamless and easy and well supported for you. Tabs, your hand. You've got a question.
Yes, hi. Thanks, Jackson, Caro. In terms of the deposit, like when is the buy date? And also you guys have suggested a payment plan, you know, the 777 or 11 point something ZAR. When does that start? Like obviously it has an envisaged start and finish date to meet that all-inclusive 577 and some change total fee. So I don't know if you're following me. I'm a bit like
Yes.
sketchy on the numbers.
Yeah. So okay, it's a very good question. So basically, if you want to secure your place and have a guaranteed spot, considering that we only have 14 spots, including Jax and myself, so 12, is it 14?
16.
No, 16 including Jax. So 14 available for people to book, excluding Jax and myself. Until you pay that 11,515, your spot will not be held for you. Okay, so someone else could steal it away from you by paying the deposit. So that's the risk that you need to decide to take. You know, ideally, if you want to join us, then I would suggest fill in the form on the website and let's get the deposit paid as soon as possible, because unfortunately, we cannot hold a place without that deposit. Then the balance. So 11,515, I think that's 20%, if I remember right, Jax, of the cost. The balance of 80%. So if you book by the end of April, you've got still until the 31st of July to pay the rest. So you'll have end of May, end of June, end of July, so that you've got 3 months left. So you need to look we can talk. You need to look at your cash flow. What is happening for you over the next 3 months? And you can say, okay, I can pay the rest off in 3 equal installments, or I would rather pay the full amount by the 31st of July. Okay, so we will discuss it in detail with you. You need to be comfortable that you will be able to commit to it, because we're going to then draw up a contract with you that protects both parties. I think, what's very important to understand is that this experience we've put together is a very, very special experience, especially to be one of the pioneers. And if you hold a spot and don't pay for it, someone else is not able to book that spot who could be desperately needing it. So we do need to be quite strict about this. Okay. The reason why it has to be paid by 31st of July is because at that point in time, we need to start paying the money to secure your accommodation. The accommodation is the most important thing. So if we don't have the money to pay for your accommodation by the 31st of July, then we're going to release the rooms and the hotel can sell it to the general public. And then if you wake up late after the 31st of July, we won't be able to guarantee that there's still rooms being held. Okay, and the hotel might increase the prices because it is quite a popular time, high season for Bali. Okay, so let's talk about the payment. Okay, so let's just go back to what it doesn't include. So we've talked air tickets, we've talked visa applications. The third thing is travel insurance. We are going to insist that you have adequate travel insurance cover. And the reason why is because we are going to land up being the person who has to take care of you if something happens and you're not able to take care of yourself. If something happens, and we will do our best to make sure that it's not as a result of any arrangement or plan that we've done. But you know what? If you go to Mount Batur and you trip and you fall down the mountainside and you knock your head and you're unconscious, Jax and I will need to make decisions on your behalf to get you the appropriate medical care. Okay, so that's why it's so important to have the correct travel insurance, to supply us with the documents so that we can take care of you in those emergency times when you are unable to. The other thing is, remember that if you're involved in, like, your luggage goes missing or heaven forbid it, but you're walking down the street in Ubud, you decide you're going out for some drinks at night and you want to see the social scene and your phone gets stolen. Travel insurance covers you for those kind of incidents as well. Jax and I will be there to help you get through any crisis like that. Okay, so that you're looked after. You don't have to go through things like that alone. And travel insurance will go a long way to simplify the whole process. Okay. Any tips and gratuities are entirely up to you. They're not included. So if you go on an activity and the one tour guide has really done an outstanding job and you want to give them a cash tip, that is up to you. Okay. Optional extras, we've talked about the Instagram photos. There's also individual rituals, etc., that you can buy. One-on-one resonance repatterning and NLP sessions, which we also mentioned a bit earlier, that's not included. And then if you arrive or want to depart on days outside of our arrival days, so we will provide airport transfers if your flight has to come in on the 4th of September, for instance, instead of the 5th, just because you live in a country, which means that your flight will not land in time to be there for the 2 p.m. start, we will cover that airport transfer. But if you want to come a week earlier and do your own thing on the island, unfortunately, we can't help you with an airport transfer there, you know? So we provide airport transfers for the fringes around arrival dates and departure dates, and we will be reasonable with that. Okay. So any questions about what's not included?
Spending money. There was a question around how much we think is needed spending money as a minimum per day, bearing in mind the exchange rate.
That's a how long is a piece of string question, you know.
Yeah.
I actually, you know, to be honest with you, our days are going to be, except for the healing days, I think our days are going to be so relatively full. There's not going to be much time for personal spending except on the free days, the rest days. But maybe what we should do, Jax, is do a little bit of research, and I can also ask the hotels what they suggest to put aside for spending, and we'll get back to you on that, because I'm actually not sure.
Okay, there was another question, which was who do they make payment to? So how does the payment process work?
Okay, so what we've done is we've set up an online payment gateway, and we've got an account that's ring-fenced for this particular activity. So at this stage, we haven't got a company formed yet. It is in the pipeline, but the account is linked to my company, and Jax and I will have access to those funds. So we're going to make it as easy as possible for you. So you can either do an EFT if that's what you prefer, or you can just hop onto the payment link, which we will send to you once we've negotiated what portion you would like to pay, and what your payment arrangement is. And we can set up an automated system so that it automatically takes the money off for you, you know, once we've got that agreement in place. But again, let's talk rather before we make those commitments.
That piece of the organization, the financial, would be to work through Caro. So just so that you're clear, sort of anything soul healing journey related around the content, you couldn't talk to me about. Anything relating to logistics, financial management, payments, payment plans, you can talk to Caro about. Yes, Tabs, the post support program is separate. It's an additional cost. So we're probably looking at about 36,000 Rand for that. So, and I will be putting something much more structured together, which will share the information about how that program supports the journey that you're on. I just need a little bit of time to apply my mind to that.
Yeah. Okay, then cancellation. Look, guys, we don't want you to cancel, and I'm sure that you don't want to cancel, but life happens, things happen that are out of your control. So if you do need to cancel, firstly, everything is in writing. We can't accept a cancellation unless it's in writing. If you cancel before the 1st of June, you'll get a full refund. Anything between the 1st of June and the 31st of July will forfeit your initial deposits. And why is this? Because at that point, we're starting to incur costs. And anything after the 31st of July will unfortunately be liable for the full amount. Now, we do understand that life happens. What we can do is we can look at, you know, from a risk perspective, if we're able to resell your tickets, etc., we might be able to transfer some of those funds to a future event, but there's no guarantees of that. You know, at that stage of the game, we might not be able to sell your spot to somebody else to cover your costs. So this is the worst case scenario. If we're able to sell it to someone who's not already registered, then we are going to look, you know, at some form of refund there. Okay, so I hope that makes some sense. We are reasonable people. Yeah, so if you want to register, the first step is to click on join the adventure, fill out these details, send it to us. We will then get all the information, and then we will start the process. So we will issue an invoice. We will send you the payment link and the banking details. We will also draw up a contract, and the contract is going to protect both yourselves and Soul Healing Adventures. We want this to be a sustainable business, and we want to be able to provide these opportunities to you in the future as well. So everything is going to be transparent, and we are here for you. And if you have any other questions, then please let us know. If you don't think of something now, you know how to get a hold of us. Please feel free to contact us. We are here for you. Anything else, Jax?
No, I think we've given an extensive sort of information download. We've had many, many really useful questions. Thank you for asking your questions so that we could share the information. Thank you for showing up tonight, and for getting excited with us. How do you WhatsApp Carol Melnick? Her details are at the bottom of every page on the website, but you can just pop your number into there. It is. Okay. So there's her contact details, Beryl. But I can also send them to you if you want. I'll send them to you in the morning. Okay. I'll WhatsApp you Caro's contact details. Any other questions from anybody before we wrap up? Okay, simply to process the deposit. Okay, I'll send you Caro's details in the morning and you can reach out to her. Okay, well, that's it from us. Thank you, everyone, for being part of tonight's Soul Healing session. We do have another Soul Healing community session in a month's time. It's on the group and the web link. Okay, so contact number. I'll send it to all of you. Contact number and website. I'll send it to all of you, the three of you, tomorrow morning.
Yeah, and what we'll do is we will edit this video and send you the link to the replay, because there was a lot of important information covered during this call. We do have some people who are very, very interested in the program, and spaces are limited. So what I would encourage is, let's make decisions as soon as possible. Your flights are going to be your biggest risk area because they're totally unpredictable. And the sooner you make up your mind and book your air ticket, the better it's going to be, from a cost perspective. Our costs are not going to change. We've been very transparent about that. So yeah, we just encourage you to sign up as soon as possible. All right, I see there's a few more chats.
Yeah, the other thing is we're going to market. Like, this is sort of, I've kept it very people I know and putting it out on a very small scale. But in the next month or two, I'm really, Caro and I are taking this to market in quite a significant way with quite broad exposure. So, I think the spots are going to go quickly.
Yes. So I think what Jax is trying to say is that you guys are all in a very special position at the moment, because you're being given first option to sign up because of the relationship that Jax has with you. I've also got a few clients who are interested, and they're not on this call tonight, but I do have some on my, my side as well.
Fab.
Hi, Jax. Have you already opened up this offering to your international client base? Or is it still kind of us South Africans for now?
It's mainly South Africans that I've sent it
Because
to.
obviously, as soon as they get a whiff at it, it's like it's a ridiculous steal for them, even more so than for us.
Exactly. That's what I'm saying to you is like, first of all, it's great value. Second of all, we haven't taken it to market yet. And the plan that I have in place to take it to market, I'm going far and wide. So I want to have lots of eyes seeing this offer.
And when is that, Jack? Sorry?
Probably the plan is to gather some testimonials from you guys, put a video together. We're going to be Facebook marketing to a targeted audience. I'm going to be going onto radio stations, putting it into magazines. So far and wide, guys. We're filling this thing up. We're filling this thing up. I'm not playing small anymore. This is so... The energy that I'm wanting to bring in for you guys is the energy that I am seeding for the soul healing adventure. So it's all out. It's all or nothing. Go big or go home, people.
I almost feel like I wish I had like like a chart that shows you like 2 seats left, 1 seat left, like in an ocean.
Okay, so you want us to put on
the show.
You want us to put on the website that there's only 2 seats left.
Yeah, or like maybe not when it's only 2.
Okay, well now there's only 1 seat left.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Thanks.
Yeah, thank you, Harriet. I appreciate that acknowledgement. It feels good. It feels good to say it out loud and to plant that intention with confidence and clear intention. I think we're very intentional about this, and it's the first of many adventures. So yeah,
absolutely. This is something we want to share with the whole world.
Yeah, so I've got clients in the States. I've spoken to one of my friends in the States, and I've told him about it. So I am starting to seed, and I do have some clients in the UK and Oman and Dubai. So Caro's in Dubai at the moment, in Abu Dhabi at the moment.
I'm in Dubai.
In Dubai.
I just went to Abu Dhabi today for the day.
Yeah. Okay. Cheers, Candace. Okay. Thank you for joining. Lots of love.
Okay, so I think we've taken up almost 2 hours of time, but this conversation was incredibly important. And thank you very much for giving up your time to listen to what we have to say, for asking your questions. Yeah, we really, really appreciate it. Time is very valuable, and you've spent quite a bit of it with us tonight.
Hi. Hello, Tubbsy. It's a family. It is a family gathering. So nice to see your faces. Oh, wow.
Yeah. Please send us the information. We are really left up the gang.
Awesome.
Hi.
I miss you.
I miss you too. Hey.
I think we're going to have to have a connect session locally before we're going to gather. In person.
Isn't the August one? I think it's on the
Yes.
14th of August. It's the last soul
Yes.
healing community conversation.
Yes.
And that one is going to be a combination of in-person and online.
Yeah.
Cape Town
Yeah.
and in Johannesburg.
Well, Pretoria or Johannesburg, we'll see where it's going to land.
For me,
Lovely.
Victoria and Johannesburg are the same place.
No, they're not the same place.